My parents tried to manipulate me for financial gain, so I let them and gave them more than they bargained for. Now, my mother is at my doorstep, demanding money I don't have, not knowing. She has just made the biggest mistake of her life. When I was 6 years old, I got up at 5 a.m. one Saturday and cleaned the entire house before my parents woke up, because I wanted just one thing, for them to be proud of me and tell me that they loved me. But they just looked blankly at me, turned on the TV, and told me to go change because I reek of sweat. This is a perfect summary of my relationship with my parents. I did everything for them to love me. I'd even go as far as mowing lawns on weekends, just to take us out for family dinner every Sunday. And yet, they barely even acknowledged me. I can't recall a single time either of them told me, "I love you." But by far, the biggest shock came when I, now 23, was enrolling in college 5 years ago. My parents told me they wanted me to go college out of state so I could finally be out of their lives. I felt incredibly devastated, so much so that I teared up in front of them and was told by my dad to man up and stop crying. I packed my bags and moved to my friend's place for the summer that night. But despite feeling crushed, I felt a small sense of happiness, because moving away was my first step towards healing. Fast forward to last May when I was graduating. I was in a much better place mentally, having gone from the shy, anxious, depressed, people-pleasing teenager to a much more confident, self-assured young man who knew his own worth. But then, my parents shocked me one last time, but this time, it was in a positive light. They reached out to me telling me they were proud of me and asked if they could attend my college graduation. I actually teared up when I read that. I felt my inner child being healed. We hadn't even spoken in 2 years, but it still felt every bit as surreal and amazing. I didn't even consider the possibility of this being a power play on their part. I immediately replied yes, saying I'd love nothing more than for them to be there. I didn't realize at the time, but my graduation day was the calm before the storm. My parents applauded as I received my diploma, and I even teared up during my speech because seeing them there meant so much. Then, 4 days after my graduation, I got an email from my mom. I felt my heart race, genuinely thinking they were attempting to rebuild the relationship. But instead, the email was a receipt, naming every expense they made to attend my graduation. Flight tickets, 5 nights at a luxury hotel, breakfast, wine, Uber to dinner, etc. They demanded I cover their entire trip, the entire $3,235. There wasn't anything else in the letter. No congratulations, great seeing you, anything, nothing. I stared at my screen like a deer in headlights. My stomach twisted, and I felt like I wanted to puke. My roommate found me red in the face, my fist angrily banging the table, seconds away from screaming. I felt so many emotions at once. Money wasn't even the issue. I had the money. The issue was that I had specifically asked my parents if they wanted me to pay for the tickets in the first place, and they refused. At first, I wanted to blame myself for this, just like when I was a kid. But the more I thought about it, the angrier I became. The very next day, after an impromptu session with my therapist, I made a decision. I wrote them a check for the exact amount, even giving them $1 extra as a thank you for attending. But that's not all I did. I also sent them a message. In the message, I let everything out, reminding them how I used to cry watching TV, seeing other kids receive love from their parents, while my own ignored me. How I used to cry myself to sleep because of how they neglected